What's up, guys? Back again with another video on the STI Soft Forester. We're having a couple of issues that I need to fix and address today, so let's get into it. So, before I move on to the main problem I'm having today, the first thing I need to do is change these spark plugs out. When I finished this particular build, I threw in some cheap nickel spark plugs from O'Reilly's just to get things started and going for the first 100 miles or so. I didn't want to have issues and foul out a good set of plugs, but everything has been running smoothly, so I can go ahead and throw in another set of Brisk Racing silver spark plugs. So I run these spark plugs because silver metal is the best single material for a spark plug's core electrode, as it can dissipate heat fast, resulting in an overall lower spark plug temperature and a more powerful spark. It's definitely something our turbocharged boxer engine needs with our particular setup. These are the ER14YS plugs that I run a plug gap of 29 thousandths on. That's where my particular setup is happiest at. Now, I won't bore you with changing spark plugs on a Subaru. There's a million videos out there on this, but let me just say that this is a whole lot easier on a more modified Subaru without the OEM intake box in the way, so changing out my spark plugs isn't really a big deal at all. The service life on these silver plugs is 18,000 miles or around 50 hours of racing, so I don't expect to be abusing mine that much, however. Okay, with the spark plugs sorted, I need to move on to the real issue. When I am stopped at a light for a while in traffic, my coolant temps start to rise and overheat. When I start driving, however, or if I'm cruising on the highway, they stay well below the halfway mark, around 185 degrees Fahrenheit. I only start to overheat if I am stopped for an extended period of time. This is a common issue when the radiator fan motor fails, so today I need to remove the radiator fan assembly and test both fan motors. I'm actually going to jump ahead here a bit. You would have just seen me pull the overflow bottle off. I've since removed the shroud and fixed the overheating issue with the fans. So it turns out the main fan was dead, the one right here on the driver's side. And passenger one, which is right here, I tested it and it works out fine, but I had some electric slim fans laying around that I figured I'd just go ahead and use instead. Who knows how long this would have lasted once I put it in. So when I tested this, you can clearly see which one's ground, which one's power. This is a 2-speed fan, so it has a low and a high speed. For the initial low speed, when it turns on, the ground is the yellow, power is the blue. Tested those, it turns on just fine. For the high speed operation, I just combined the yellow and the black for the ground and the blue and the green for the power. So again, both the high and low speed work just fine, but I figured if I had these electric slim fans laying around, I'd rather just throw those in instead of trying to reuse some used parts. So when it came to wiring the electric slim fans, you can see I just cut off the harness for these fan motors, and since the electric slim fans, it only has one ground and one power wire, I just combined the yellow and the black for the ground and the blue and the green for power. I combined those together and I just wired in the electric slim fans. So super simple, again, just a power and a ground, and it allows me to plug into the stock harness. So super simple. They work just fine. The coolant temp gets up to 205 and then they both kick on, so everything is working great on that front. Then when it came to mounting the fans, I actually just went up to the auto parts store and grabbed a oil cooler mounting kit, which is basically just some of these like fancy zip tie things that go through the radiator, and it just kind of cinches it together. So it holds up just fine. Yeah, I'm not worried about them. They're not loose, they're not going to come off, obviously, so good on the mounting for that. And then for the overflow bottle, since the OEM one is all I have, I didn't want it just hanging there. I didn't want to use a green soda bottle like what everybody else does. So to retain the use and the mounting of the OEM coolant overflow tank, I just took the original fan shroud, basically just chopped it up so I can use the mounting tabs. So you can see what I did here is I I cut off the lower half here so I can use the bottom dowel pin. So it has somewhere on the bottom to hold on to. And then for the top, you can see I cut it along here so I could use those top two mounting positions. So yeah, again, you'll see here, top two mounting positions right there, no problem. And it's sitting on that bottom dowel pin. So super simple, and it still has the clip here for the overflow hose. So not too bad. And again, it's super secure, and I like the way it looks. So it also gives me a ton of room here in the front. So if I'm ever doing the timing belt again, I don't have to worry about taking all that stuff off, except for just these two bolts here to pull all this assembly off, and that's it. I can keep the fans in place, keep the radiator in place while I do the timing belt. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with how it came out. Cool. So with the overheating issue solved and the cylinder misfire issue solved, we can go ahead and get back on the GTR in the next episode. So in the next episode, I need to remove the entire HICAS system. With the engine out, it's going to be super simple to do, and I'm deleting the whole thing from the front of the engine bay to the back of the car. All the lines are coming out, as well as the pump in the rear trunk. So yeah, so we'll get that all taken off and start prepping the engine bay for paint and clear coat. So I appreciate you guys for watching. I'm going to get the rest of this mess completely cleaned up so we can get back on that GTR, and I will catch you guys in the next one.